All right. Welcome back, guys, to another round of the Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition All Bosses Tournament, second round. Today, we have Duck versus Ayame. I'm Sapioke, and I will be commentating today, along with my lovely co-commentator, Allie.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Ali. I'm going to be helping commentate this race of Sappy. Should hopefully be pretty fun to watch, commentate for. Both runners will be doing slightly different routes. Obviously, Duck has routed ES Mage, so it'll be fun to see that for the first time in the tournament. But without further ado, if we're good to go, then I think we can start the timer to count down now. It looks like we're off.
Good luck to both of our runners.
Yeah.
Stuff today.
So they both started as Thief with Black Fire Bombs. They start with Thief because it starts with the Master Key, which will be needed for some doors, and they start with the Black Fire Bomb so they can kill Asylum really quick here at the start.
We'll see that fight come up here in a minute. Makes real quick work of the first boss. Inventory management there. The first run in this race we have seen of this route. Very interesting to see how different it is from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's pure sorcery, which will be interesting to see. Yeah, Asylum just goes down really quick with fire bombs.
Also, very interesting to see one of our runners is completely armored up, while the other one is your typical beef jerky here.
Yeah. And the reason the Duck wants to have armor on is because in the Low Under Berg, without armor, you actually get bled in like one hit from the dogs. But with armor, it's like 2 or 3 hits. So it's nice to have on. Yeah, it's going to talk to Oscar here to get the key, and then they're going to leave Asylum.
With IGT strats here, you would normally quit out at this wall to break it, which you can see that Ayame thought about for half a second there before triggering the boulder.
Yeah, and you would also normally in IGT runs also quit out here at this door, but it is slower RTA, so it's faster to just wait through it.
And up here, you might also see the runners do a little interesting menu trick where you can bring up the key settings menu or a couple other menus over this cutscene transition here. It'll actually block the prompt when you go into Firelink so you can start running a bit sooner.
Yeah, and you also notice that the both runners do toggling when they start sprinting, and that's because in this game your character takes a bit of time to go from walking speed to full speed when you start sprinting. But if you perform an upper body animation when you begin sprinting, you actually get to full speed a bit faster. It only saves about a frame each time you do it, but that can amount to about a second or two throughout the run if you do it consistently.
Hollow's giving Duck just a little bit of trouble there, but he made it through.
Now, Ayame's going to go to the Undead Merchant to buy rapier, bow, and he's gonna some arrows, and he's gonna perform a glitch called prompt swap, where basically you can see where his mouse is right now. It's over where the kind of arrow is going to be in the merchant menu, and he's going to press left. Where he has it bound to his controller, left click, and obviously the A or X button. And when you press both at the same time, you can bring up the kind of confirmation box to buy an item, but switch over to another set of items in the merchant menu, which allows you to buy items you normally can't afford, like the bottomless box in this case.
Meanwhile, we see Duck also going through
Yeah.
similar menuing, but he's going to do a different trick here to skip to lower Undead Berg. This trick was actually really, really difficult for a long time until one member of the community, Androff, found a setup that seems to be much more consistent for doing this jump.
You could. That's not gonna work. That's really unfortunate.
Mm.
No. Yeah.
Still very tricky to do, even with the more consistent setup.
So those were the infamous boxes, but that's why they're infamous. But he should be able to get a second shot, though, I think, when he gets back.
Yeah, I'd be anxious to see if he tries boxing again or if he just does the normal fence
Actually,
jump.
yeah, I think he'll do the normal skip because he already killed the merchant.
Ayame here
Meanwhile,
coming up the Taurus demon. That can be a little bit annoying. Archers shooting you. Seems like Ayame handled it pretty well. Ready to move on.
one nice thing about the bandit's knife is once you've builds up deals quite a bit of bleed damage. So once you've dealt enough hits, the bleed meter fills up. You deal quite a bit of damage from bleed, which when mixed with the Gopun resin lets you kill Taurus pretty quick. So he's shooting down Hellkite right now. He's going to apply Gopun resin to his weapon. He's going to try to cut off the tail. And he managed to do it nicely to get the Drake Sword. Luckily no memes this time around.
While Duck is trying to free Griggs now from lower end Edberg, managed to successfully open the door without getting mauled by the dogs too hard.
Yeah, when you quit out, it resets enemy positions in this game. It loses around 10 seconds RTA when you do it, but if you don't do it in low Underberg, then you're pretty likely to die, honestly, with all the dogs and thieves chasing you. Oh, this is concerning for Duck though. Should be fine.
Oh, pretty concerning, but Duck made it out. Now we're going to see Ayame over here and do probably one of the most famous skips in Dark Souls speedrunning, which is the Sin's Gate skip here. So what's actually going to happen is he's waiting to bait this hollow down here, and based on his positioning on this staircase, it's actually going to push his character out of the bounds of the staircase a little bit and just let them touch the trigger that causes the death cam, so we can actually cause some of the game's assets to stop loading and skip past the door. But unfortunately, that hollow didn't quite cooperate with him.
Yeah, so there's basically just like on a specific spot there, kind of a death cam you can trigger. And basically the game just thinks you're dead in that state, so it doesn't load new assets like gates. But because you're not dead, you can just run into Sense Fortress and quit out, and then that bypasses having to ring the bells.
Your SGS community in shambles indeed.
Yeah, that is correct, Mario.
Right side, fortunately. I've successfully made it past Taurus now, and probably going to go and cut the Drake's tail just like we saw Ayame do. Yeah.
Yeah, most people do it barehanded, but if you do it that way, the hollow can actually block you at the bonfire, and if that happens, you have to do the whole skip again, which is a lot slower than just killing him with the rapier. Cute, cute.
That makes make it do Sin's Fortress, which in casual play is pretty infamous and difficult area, but for speedruns is actually one of the more easy areas because everything is on cycles and it's pretty consistent as long as you do everything the same.
And you saw that Ayame broke down the wall next to the snake with the Drake Sword R2, and that's because he wants to save Big Hat Logan here, because he wants a spell called Soul Spear from him later, which will be used to a very neat trick, which we'll explain a bit later.
Now we're seeing Duck also do Sin's Gate skip, but to do it's gonna do this. Okay, he's going to be right side as well, but with the dagger.
Bandit knife. SGS community is also in shambles, it seems.
Doesn't matter what weapon you use, right side.
Alright, got it the second time, luckily. Oh, and Ayame just performed probably the most important glitch in Dark Souls speedrunning, which is the move swap glitch. And basically the way it works is that in DS1, the only weapon you can two-hand in your left hand is the bow. But if you queue up the two-handed of the bow in the left hand in an animation like a jump, and right as you switch it out for a different weapon, like the Drake sword in this case, the game will actually two-hand that weapon in your left hand, which normally isn't supposed to happen. So the bow obviously has an R1, but it doesn't have a run and attack, roll attack, backstab attack, or plunge attack. So the game takes that information from your right-hand weapon, which in this case the rapier is a very fast double hit, which we'll see here.
As you get bigger weapons, that damage just skyrockets. It's disgusting. It's very fun.
Yeah, now he's going to take on Iron Golem, and the main strategy is, with Golem, when you deal 400 damage below his knee, he staggers, and then when you deal an additional 200 damage, he falls. So you kind of want to set him up so that once he's staggered, and when he falls, he will just fall off the bridge. But luckily, Ayame got the stomp, so we got the swag one cycle. Very nice.
There we go. Actually, a fairly technical fight in this run with the Drake sword without RTSR. It requires a good bit of control of your character and learning how to like control Golem as well. And Ayame made that look pretty easy.
Yeah, if you get the stomp, it's a pretty free fight, but otherwise you do actually need to pay quite a bit of attention to what's going on. And it requires a lot of practice to get good at.
Ayame's coming up here. He's gonna take his first bonfire in Inner Londo here just for a bit of safety because this next section can be a little tricky.
Yeah, so there's not too long of a way to go for the next bonfire for Ayame, but if he was to die before, he would have to run like 5 minutes to get back here, so I wanted to take that bonfire for safety.
Ayame just barely missing that jump.
And hopefully he does not get sniped on the ladder here.
He's gonna cool.
Oh no, I jinxed it.
Oh,
It's a
that's
good,
shame.
yeah, it's a good thing he healed full health, otherwise he would have died there.
Yeah. Training Guardians can be a little rough to deal with sometimes. Having a shield and a thrusting weapon makes it a bit easier, but still get me pretty hard by them. Occasion.
Meanwhile, Duck's taking on Iron Golem himself. We'll see how this fight goes. He also got the one cycle, nice.
Here we're seeing Ayame pick up a random ring that's going to be used later in the run for a very complicated and interesting glitch. And here he's also leveling up his endurance to 15 and strength to 27, so he can use the Dragon's Teeth, which is going to be the main weapon for the majority of his run. Coming up here very shortly.
No, he didn't, Mario. He got memed by the jump.
So we're also going to see another little interesting, almost call it glitch from Ayame here, where he's actually going to run, since elevators are considered unstable ground, he is actually going to come up here and jump off of the elevator onto stable ground and quit out before the elevator gets to its final position. So he's going to load in and be at the stable ground spot up top while the elevator is going to be still at the bottom in its original state. It's going to save a little bit of time later in the run when coming back to the painted world.
Yeah, doesn't save as much time RTA, but it's still definitely worth doing. Ayame got past the Batwing demons. It's pretty very clean.
Now we're going to see him deal with these archers up here, which are definitely can be easier to deal with the Drake sword because of its R2. Push this last knight off. Oh, that's
Oh
unfortunate.
no.
The knight was unhappy with what he did, decided to end it for himself as well. That's okay. Unfortunately, it's not a terrible setback for Ayame since we took the tomb bonfire there.
Yeah, this just got quite a bit closer now.
Yeah, our two runners are very close.
Yeah, that was a pretty late quit out, but it should still be fine. I don't know. You tell us, Mario.
Abstract algebra is fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll see if Ayame's got better luck here on the Silver Knight Archers this time.
There you go. That was much better that time. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what's supposed to happen.
This is another an important safety bonfire. The ONS fight, well, is probably one of the most random fights in this run. Sure.
Yeah. It is easily in my opinion, the most RNG heavy fight in this route, at least. And now Ayame's going to pick up the main melee weapon that's going to be used for most of the run, which is the Dragon Tooth. And as Sappy mentioned earlier, the main kind of strength with the moveswap glitch is that you can take really heavy, slow weapons, like the DT, and use them very quickly, which lets you deal a lot of damage very quickly, naturally, which we're going to see come into play here on ONS.
The stairs jump here is actually really interesting. It's probably one of the tricks that most casual players know or will find out on their own. It's completely on circumstance. Pretty obvious you can make that jump there.
And really unfortunate for Duck. He died to the knight before the door, leading to the Dragon Tooth. It's not a massive time loss, but still unfortunate.
I'll make it a good ONS opener.
Yeah, jump back though. Oh, Monka Shake. Alright, Dawn stands down. And luckily the Dragon Tooth deals a lot of poise damage, being a heavy weapon, so you can just stun lock Smo here with move swap, assuming he cooperates and doesn't jump around like he just did.
Comes back, you don't get the stagger. You do crit damage, so it does a bit more damage, but it can be really annoying when he doesn't stagger. But Ayame managed to make it through pretty easily.
Ah, nice. Let's see how Duck does here.
A very jumpy Ornstein.
Ooh. Ah, you went for the YOLO.
Unfortunate. Rough. Meanwhile, we have Ayame now who is coming to fight gargoyles. And this is a very, very quick fight with the Dragon Tooth.
Yeah, you stagger them in one hit due to the DT's massive poise damage, and they die in like 3 hits anyway.
You see him send down this elevator, which we need to make use of later when we go back to the asylum.
Clean hollow room.
Yep. So one of the interesting things about move swap is you're not really limited on what animations you can do it out of. So even things here, like you can see him trying as he's getting off the ladder using that animation to perform move swap here. He got successfully.
Yeah, you can do it on a whole range of animations, like fast roll, the turnaround animation, but the jump and the ladder there are just the most consistent ones.
We need to have an incentive for fast roll move swap.
Now, I've done it a few times. I got it 3 times in a row one day. It was the greatest moment of my
I
life.
was gonna say, what a god gamer. It's doable, but it's definitely not easy or consistent.
Yeah, it's definitely not consistent at all. You need like insanely fast inputs. And DS1 has quite a bit of menu delay, which makes that difficult. Duck getting a cleaner ONS this time around. Nice.
Much better that time for Duck. Meanwhile, Ayame is heading down here, and he is going to go to ring the second bell now. But first, he needs to kick this jerk off.
Yeah, you gotta kill Ultrak, because otherwise, after you ring the second bell, he takes the Firekeeper away, which means you can't rest Firelink until you do his meme quest line, which takes forever. So it's just faster to kill him there.
Ame is going to go down here to Rickert and buy a catalyst from him, so we can actually make use of the sorceries that we're going to purchase later in run. Since we didn't actually get Griggs, we're very limited on the amount of on what catalysts we can actually get. So the one we get here actually ends up being the best in terms of damage and time.
Yeah, and Ayama's going to attempt the Blighttown plunges, and the way it works is when you plunge on kind of a sloped surface, the game actually lets you roll out of that animation even when midair. And obviously, if you do that, you can iframe fall damage that would normally kill you, because roll has iframes. The first plunge here is the easiest one, and the second one can be a bit finicky, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, nice, you got it.
Nice.
First try.
He's making his way to Quelaag now, while Duck is going to do gargoyles now as well. This isn't even their final form, Mario.
Yeah, this is just like the first arc already.
Move swapping here, going into the Quelaag fight, can be a little bit tricky since the terrain is so uneven and your jumps are a little bit weird. You can see Ayame move swap just a little bit too quickly there. First time.
Oh no,
Um,
that is really unfortunate.
One of the bad things about Quayla is it's really easy to get stuck on her body, and then things like that happen.
Well, at least he can show off his skill with getting first try Blighttown plunges for the second time.
That cleared out Gargoyles pretty easy, and also going to be going to Quayla now as well. Our runners are still very close.
Yeah, and I didn't notice, but Doug has already spoken to Grix and has bought full control from him, and presumably some other stuff as well.
So I'm interested to see how Duck's Blight Hunt segment is going to go.
Yeah, he's gonna do the plunge, but with full control.
Oh. Messed up that plunge just a little bit on Ayame's end, but thankfully he saved it. Just going to get to try again.
Looks like he's just gonna take the water wheel.
Ayame apologizing in chat.
Well, will be able to see on Duck's end that with full control, if you do the same kind of plunge that Ayame did, if you just stay still and don't move your character at all until you land, you actually just survive the fall. So it's a lot more comfy.
I don't think I've ever actually seen someone do the ball control plunge there like that. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty old strat, actually. Like, not the plunge, but the drop he did.
Yeah. Right, much better.
Yeah, it did, Mario, yeah. So yeah, Ayame's going to ring the second bell here, and he's going to make a short detour to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire, because with the Lord Vessel, so normally in pre-SGS routes, you would have to, when you killed Quelaag, you'd have to run back down Blighttown again when you wanted to go to Bed of Chaos, but because we have the Lord Vessel, since we did SGS, we can just take this bonfire, and then when we want to do Bed of Chaos later, we can just warp here. Means we don't need to go for Blighttown a second time, which is nice.
Seeing Ayame put Prologue Soul and an arrow into his bottomless box, and that's pretty important here in a minute because that's going to allow him to do some duping at Frampt when he sells his soul to him, and he's going to be able to get 32 million souls. Is the number he gets to?
Yeah. So in this game, the default quantity from a loading screen is 99, and he's gonna perform a glitch called quantity storage by bringing up the. He's gonna bring up the confirmation box here and then open his menu, and he's gonna let the box. He's gonna let the box appear when he's in Frampt's menu, and when you sell items or feed items to Frampt this way when they're in your bottomless box, it allows you to sell the quantity you have stored, but it also dupes the item when they're in your bottomless box. So you basically scam Frampt. So you can see you dupe 99 arrows to get 999 of them, and now he's going to store up a quantity of 999 to dupe Quelaag's soul to get millions of souls. And then you saw there, he just stored up quantity of 4 with the humanities, and he's going to perform 1 quantity storage here to get a couple of soul spears and buy home and soul mass from Logan.
Yeah, we can see on Ducks, and Duck is now going through the same process, but will actually need to do one less dupe of Quaylock Soul to get the levels that he needs. But from this point on in the run with these levels, your character is essentially just a monster. Cast spells as fast as possible, and with 99 int, it's absurd.
Yeah, and he gets obviously 33 vit because why not? He gets 16 achievement for the soul spears. He gets 52 endurance for meme rolls, which we'll explain a bit later, and 53 strength to 2-shot Artorias, and 45 dex because it gives you faster cash speed, and obviously 99 int to deal the most magic damage as you can. And Doug's going to do the same level up, but he's just not going to level strength like Ayame did. Oh yeah, one difference between Duck and Ayame is that because Duck freed Griggs, he could buy the Bellow and Dragon Crest ring, which increases magic damage by 20%, which Ayame does not have. Thank you for reminding me, Mario.
Actually, we just see that difference in the fight here coming up as well.
Yeah, so this fight used to be quite a bit of a nightmare when you used to do it with Dragon Tooth plus 0, but with Soul Spear, it's really nice.
Much better. GT plus 0 made this fight pretty bad.
Yeah, it is.
Nice stray fight on Duck's end.
Yeah, and they both pick up the peculiar doll, which is the item you need to enter the painted world. And the reason they want to go to painted world, this early is one, it's actually a bit faster to do Dark Anno Londo early, and also they want to pick up an item called the Red Sign Soapstone for the glitch ESM that Sappy mentioned earlier.
So we're actually going to see the runs diverge here a little bit slightly, and then link back up very shortly after. While Ayame is headed to the painted world, I believe now that yes, Duck is probably going to go and run and fight Gwendolyn now instead.
Yeah, we'll see Ayame come back here earlier when his Dragon Tooth's fully upgraded.
It'd be a very interesting fight for Duck because when the goal is to make Gwendolyn stagger so they can't teleport, and getting that stagger with Mage requires all of his masses to hit as well as the Soul Spear, and it might be pretty tricky to get that off.
Yeah, and one of the big problems with Gwendolyn is you can only stagger him after he's done the arrow attack, so if he decides to spam magic, there's pretty much nothing you could do. Nothing you can do at all. Yeah, and he did not get the stagger, looks like, so he is going to have to go for 2 cycle.
He's making his way up the stairs here and is about to pick up the red sign soapstone, as Ali mentioned earlier. And now he's going to do a fun little plunge here. Nice.
And you saw Ayame did a nice little drop there. Normally, to get to this bridge, you need to go get a key and requires a lot of running, but there's actually just an invisible edge there you can drop down to get onto the bridge. It's a nice little skip. And you see Ayame's gonna shoot Priscilla with a bow here, and that's because when you aggro Priscilla, she basically disappears, and she won't reappear until you've dealt enough damage to her. But if you shoot an arrow, you can just see where she is in the arena until the arrow disappears, which is nice.
Nice clean fight there on Ayame's end. Magic makes that a bit safer than with the DT.
Yeah, so now we've come to the big glitch on Ayame's end, which is equip slot manipulation. Now, I will admit I'm pretty bad at explaining it, but I'll give it my best shot. So, basically in this game, you can see that Ayame, he stored up a quantity of 999, and he quantity storage the pike to buy basically have the weight of 999 pikes in one. And basically in this game, there is actually a weight limit, which not many people know, and it's a leftover mechanic from Demon Souls. But they set it so high at 10,000 units that it would basically be literally impossible to reach it on any casual playthrough. But when you quantity storage that many pikes into one, you do exceed that limit and it overflows, and you get into a state called crammed, which means you cannot pick up any items, and you also cannot unequip rings. And for some technical reason, when you try to unequip your ring, you can equip items from like non-ring items, and turns out that the ring ID equivalent of the red sign soapstone is actually the red tearstone ring, so it lets you glitch that item into your inventory.
The runners need to be very careful though, because it doesn't actually give you that ring. So at if any point during the run they accidentally remove that Tearstone ring from their slot, they have to do the whole glitch completely over again.
Yeah, and that includes doing all the cramming and everything again. And RTSR, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically a ring that increases your damage by 50% when below 20% health. So it's easily the most broken item in the game.
So from here on out, both of our runners should pretty much be staying consistent with the order of their bosses, just doing it in a little bit different ways. Duck is going to be completely sorcery from here, while Ayame is going to be a mixture of sorcery and melee with DT plus 5. Well, DT right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, the boss order is going to be pretty much the same. The only difference is we'll see Ayame do Gwendolyn after Artorias, and obviously Duck's done him already.
Here Ayame is fighting the Hydra, so we can free Dusk here. That way we can get access to the DLC later. And he also drops that pike that he had used to cram himself. So essentially, once you drop that pike and pick it back up, the game realizes that you're only picking up one pike, so it doesn't have the weight of 999 pikes anymore. So we can actually use that later in the run for a meme roll setup.
Yeah, and we see Ayame's gonna go and summon Dusk here, which would appear to be pretty slow at first glance, but it's gonna be pretty important for two things, which is two cycle Gothless, which we'll see a bit later, and also one king, which save definitely more time than it takes to summon Dusk here.
The No Magic Shield Gothless that Ali just mentioned is actually something that's very interesting because it was something that was discovered not very long, only a few weeks before this tournament actually started, and it's something you can see that pretty much all of the runners have now incorporated into their run just because of how much time it saves.
Yeah, it's not even a month old yet, I don't think. So yeah, we're gonna see.
So here we're going to see that Ayame is did quantity storage again here to buy 999 of the Ulysses Catalyst. Well, that kind of is tricky for the game because it thinks it should only be able to sell you one, and it does some math behind the scenes, and you actually end up getting a negative number there. So Ayame is using that to drop a negative number of the dragon scales, which actually ends up giving positive quantity here. So he essentially just duped all of the upgrade materials that he's going to need to get his dragon tooth to its highest upgrade level. Insane amounts of damage.
Yeah, and when you reason it works is because when you open what we call a double menu, which you saw he did with the brightness menu, so he presses A or X and then R1 or RB a tiny bit later, which opens a double menu. And when you drop an item in the double menu, it actually drops the negative quantity, which gives you a positive number. Feels math, man. And obviously, Yami just killed Butterfly with Soul Spear and Soul Mass. The fight used to be a little bit more complicated when you used to do it with Heavy Soul Arrow. Like, he could actually, like, attack you and stuff, but with Soul Spear, it's just a pushover, honestly.
Now he is on his way to do Sif, and we will see if he does Sif with the correct strategy or if he decides to go for a melee Sif. Throwing
He's
some
gonna,
shade at the melee
yeah,
Sif community.
he's gonna go for Magic Sith for sure. Unless he wants to do DT plus Evo, I mean, who knows?
That's actually a really good point, Ali.
Well, maybe it's the new meta. Who knows? Yeah, Magic Sith for life. Let's go.
Yup. Melee Sith community, absolute shambles.
And a clean fight as well. Let's go.
So now that Ayame has the souls here, we're going to see him upgrade his Dragon Tooth to +5, and that is going to be an absolute insane amount of damage for him for the rest of this round.
Yeah,
And off to
D
Arcade.
yeah, DD +5 with 53 strength and move swap on RTSR just deals an insane amount of damage. It's insane.
Really get to see that later on the DLC bosses, especially Artorias. Sickening.
And meanwhile, on Duck's end, he's also going to be doing Magic Sith with a bit more damage though because of BDR.
Both of our runners still very close. Like change at any moment still.
Yeah, so I think Ayame is a bit ahead, but bearing in mind he still has to do Artorias. I mean, sorry, he still has to do Gwendolyn rather.
Doing hidden body here to hide himself from very annoying Crystal Hollow enemies here, and he's going to go and kill this golem to get the broken pendant, which is the item that we need to be able to get into the DLC.
Yeah, and that's why even in routes that don't get the Dusk Crown, you still have to free Dusk, because otherwise that golem does not drop the broken pendant. And then obviously you can't kill the DLC bosses, and then it won't be an all bosses run, which feels bad, man.
All bosses, no DLC race. Now you're going to see Ayame do another really well-known Dark Souls 1 skip, which is Duke skip here. Oh,
Yeah, he ran off a bit too early there.
unfortunately, have to retry that again. Just lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, this is actually one of the oldest skips in the game, and it's one of the biggest time saves. Saves around 6 minutes. Because normally you have to, do the intentional death at Seath and go through all the prison and run around and do all of that stuff. But it turns out you can just land on this elevator here and then roll onto one of the floors in Duke's archives, which bypasses all that.
A little rough there for Ayame. Okay.
Well, all I know for certain, Red, is that it saves one Duke skip's worth of time.
At least 12.
Yeah, that's true. I nice got it this time.
And he actually landed on the railing as well, which the nice thing about that is if you land on the railing and roll off there, you can actually make your way around that hollow as they're turning around instead of having to push them out of your way, which is convenient, saves a little bit of time. Yeah, the gap is definitely closing, Mario.
Yeah, assuming that there are no deaths or major time losses, then we'll get a better grasp of who's ahead once Ayame does dwindle in.
Queen Duke's get from Ducks in.
It looks like he even did the ring swap RTSR setup too.
Champ. Oh, yeah, we were actually going to see a different set of glitches here for the Crystal Caves than what Ayame is doing on Ducks and CS Fall Control.
Yeah, so we saw that Duck just did, some people call them air rolls, I call them meme rolls, just for the meme. Basically, if you've played the remaster version, or if you've seen speedruns of the remaster version, you'll probably know that the leniency of equip load you have to get meme rolls is very lenient. In DS and PTD, it's not. Basically, you have like a 0.1% leniency, and you hit basically like what's called a floating point error, which is like the minimum amount of equip load you can have to be mid-rolling, but it's at the point where the game doesn't stop you from being able to roll mid-air, so you can just chain rolls, which lets you survive lethal falls with iframes in a lot of cases.
And what we just saw Duck do there was actually a slip without. It is the fastest way to go through the Crystal Caves, but in a race without fall control, it is a pretty hard skip and easy to mess up. But fall control makes it a bit more free, and you can see him just execute that very nicely. Save a bit more time than the manly drop that Ayame did.
Yeah, so with full control and with slope quit outs, both of them basically delay your death a tiny bit when you land, and if you quit out during that time, you end up landing like spawning where you landed.
I suppose it's true rule. It's not a Crystal Cave slip quit out if it's fall control quit out.
And now both runners were making their way to the DLC.
It's been a really good race for both runners from this. We're still really close. Have been for a good amount of the run.
We got to wait till Feisage elevator clip before we start praising anyone, to be honest.
Very true, Ali. Now we can see Ayame fight the Sanctuary Guardian, which luckily with the DT does so much poise damage, we actually staggered the Guardian with one swap running attacks. And fight is real for Ayame there.
So yeah, we'll be seeing the main differences between melee and sorcery in the DLC primarily. Nah, you've jinxed it now, Mario.
A little concerning there on Ducks in for a second. Managed to pull it off quite nice. the Ayame doing meme rolls down Whirlwood's elevator there. Gonna talk to Chester and buy 75 green blossoms. No, we're not gonna use all of those. Faster stamina recovery is very nice for some of these fights. Artorias here coming up, and use some Bed of Chaos later. And potentially Gwendolyn.
Yeah, you'll remember how I mentioned earlier that 53 strength is needed for two-shot Artorias, and that's because if you have anything below 53 strength, then if you do two random attacks on Artorias, he will just survive with a tiny sliver of health, which is pretty bad.
Artorias fight on Ayame's end. So now Ayame is going to go back to the Dark Moon Tomb to do Gwendolyn now. And after that point, our runners should have done all of the same bosses.
Alright, let's hope that Duck's fight goes well here. Soul Spear Artorias can be pretty monkish shake, depending on what RNG you get.
Flips.
Yeah, flips at sorcery is really bad. Okay, nice.
Ayame actually has RTSR here for Gwendolyn, which is going to make this much easier because you don't have to worry about the stagger. It's just a 2-hit KO right from the start.
Yeah, now we've come to the main event of PTD All Bosses in the last month, which is
Which,
Gothless without Magic Shield.
which now you can see how exactly close our runners are. Which is pretty crazy.
So yeah, as Sappy already mentioned, Gothless itself is not that new. It's been around for a few years, but the thing is, you used to need to have Magic Shield, either Great Magic Shield for a normal shield or normal Magic Shield for like Havel Shield. And the setup was also different for the fight, and it just didn't really work out for all bosses in PTD. But Androv discovered a setup that does not require Magic Shield at all, so both runners are going to be doing very specific pathing once they enter the arena, which will allow them to shoot Calamite from below with Soul Spears without taking any damage. Yeah, and I can promise you both runners are not shrugging for style points. It is to time when they need to run back to the spot for Calamite. Oh no, Duck missed a spear. He's getting a free cycle now. This is really unfortunate.
That's hopeful that that last free aim was going to hit.
Yeah, feels melee Gothless tier man.
Now we are seeing Ayame make his way down into the abyss. He's going to do a meme roll down this elevator and is going to go pick up Dark Bead, which is a spell that's going to be used for a lot of the bosses coming up here for the rest of the game. And this will do an insane amount of damage.
Yeah, Darkbeard is arguably the most overpowered spell in the game, or at least one of them.
Bark Bead.
Oh, my dog. Yeah, Duck lost about a minute or so due to the 2 extra cycles over Ayame, so it's kind of going to be interesting the rest of this race now.
Really up that Fire Sage elevator clip RNG.
Yeah, that's the great equalizer of this tournament, it seems.
Now we're going to see Ayame move swap here and actually make this neat little jump here that lets you skip Manus's Fog Gate and just drop straight into his arena.
Oh, double rain. Nice.
Nice Manus there from
Oh, no.
there.
Ah, that's really unfortunate for Duck.
Ooh. Yeah, I thought that was going to be a trade there. Fortunate.
Although, it looks like we will get to see the Pogger's Artorias skip here now, though, which is consolation in and of itself.
I don't think anyone's done town skip in the tournament so far. Pretty cool to be able to showcase this.
Yeah, with full control meme rolls, it's not that bad.
Unfortunately, Ayame hexed by the Fire Sage elevator clip
Wait,
RNG.
did it happen?
It happened.
I told you, man, you cannot say anything about this race until you get to Fire Sage Elevator clip, and this is why. Now he just needs to die a couple of more times, and this race will be even again.
Truly the great equalizer. Impossible next.
Ah, he got it this time. So yeah, the way that works is when you quit out in this game, during the stand-up animation, your character backs away a tiny bit. And the elevator for Fire Sage actually deloads, actually loads in a bit slower than the rest of the area. for about half a second slower. So if you position yourself correctly, then crit out a couple of times, you can actually just fall through the ground and plunge on top of Fire Sage's head.
One of the cooler tricks in the game, in my personal opinion. That plunge onto Fire Sage is just so satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here for Ayame, we're going to see the true power of Dark Bead here with a 2-shot on the Centipede Demon.
And he went for the Regal certified index in for the Orange Childwing.
Duck's actually doing Ceaseless first. Interesting.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't need move swap for Fire Sage. I mean, just look at that damage.
A lot of damage.
I'm just watching it tentatively on the Duck side right now.
I know. Waiting to see. Don't want to jinx anything.
Even doing the extra crit out for safety. What a legend.
Understandable.
And he got it first try. Nice.
Beautiful. Meanwhile, Ayame is now going to fight Bed of Chaos, which in casual play again is a terrible boss to deal with. But for speedruns, we have a strategy where you actually throw bombs to break the crystals, I guess you call them, on the other side, on each side of the Bed of Chaos, which makes this fight much, much more manageable. Backstep setup, okay.
Yeah, man. If it works, you know.
Now we will see Ayame going back to do Ceaseless and finish up with the Isolus section.
Yeah, and Ayame obviously set about to have that nice little slope. He tried to roll to cancel the stagger, but he rolled a bit too early, I think.
Yeah, the Pike aesthetic is top tier.
Free cast ceaseless concern doge.
Ayame handled that pretty well. Red.
Those are some really pro strats who've come up with red.
Seriously, we can expect to see that from you in your race, right, Red?
Why is Ayame running back though?
Oh no.
Did he actually run out too early? Because he has 20k souls.
Keep the fog gate still up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have the souls otherwise because he dark signed. Now Yami's walked back to Firelink, and he's going to do basically the final kind of wrap up stages of the run. It's just going to clear all the bosses of Darkbeat, basically.
Yep. We go through actually quite a few bosses here very, very quickly because of the power of Dark Bead. Duck makes quick work of the Toki bombs. Go finish off the bed of chaos now. Once again, line up our runners very closely.
And he's doing hidden body strats, nice. So yeah, normally you would quit out on this lever to save some IGT, but it's faster RTA not to. And the reason Ayame casted Hidden Body early is because otherwise there's a chance you would get blocked by skeletons at the entrance there.
This helps out a little bit with the bone wheels at the bottom, but like, meme rolls.
Oh, that was pretty close to the skull though, the
Yeah,
meatball.
pretty concerning. Luckily, everything worked out.
And Duck is doing a different boss order.
Yeah, I wasn't telling us earlier. It's just one boss out of order. All right. He makes quick work of Pinwheel.
And
Uh,
we saw that Duck performed Seal Skip. He did it in a bit of a different fashion than Ayame's going to do it. He did it with full control, which allowed him to do a little jump. Basically, what it does just lets you skip having to go to Ingwood and drain the water and all that. We will be seeing Ayame do it after this segment, but he's going to be doing a slope quit out variant. Nice red.
Here we're going to see Duck make real quick work of these kings and actually only kill one of them.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that there were two main reasons to summon Dusk to get the Dusk Crown. The first one was to allow you to save an extra cycle on Gothless, and the other reason is to get one king, which saves 30 seconds.
Now Ayame is moving into Nito's arena. And you can see that he has his catalyst two-handed in his right hand. And the reason why is for this stab right here. If you have an animation that makes your character's legs spread just far enough, the hitbox of that spear will actually just come up between them and you won't take any damage from it.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
That actually does put Duck in the lead, I'm pretty sure. By quite a bit.
Really unfortunate.
Well.
Interesting. Duck doing the fall control quit out instead of the meme roll there.
Congrats, Knox. That's less than me. Oh, Duck died. I didn't see what to, though.
I think he got bumped on the slope. I didn't see
And,
either.
yeah, and Ayame died as well. Well, Catacombs has decided to claim more victims, it seems.
It's for content.
Yeah, got to keep it exciting, you know.
I'm equipping the thief mask a little bit earlier this time.
Oh,
Oh,
the skull got him. So yeah, those skulls just move in random directions when they spawn, and if you land on them, then your meme setup becomes completely messed up and won't work anymore.
made it through that time. Now on his way to Nito.
Duck did not go for hole in one, unfortunately.
Meme roll successful on Ayame Sen this time.
So, I don't want to jinx anything, but hopefully Nito goes smoothly for Duck.
Beautiful plunge there by Ame.
Oh, stalled rope.
Stored roll at Nito is one of the scariest things.
Oh, double scream even. That's the real nightmare fuel.
Duck's opting to go with Soul Spear here. A bit more consistent.
Oh, that damage,
More
dude.
comfy.
Bloody hell.
Whew.
So now Duck only has Capra, Gaping, and Gwyn left, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, I think that's right, Ellie.
And it's the same for Ayame, but he also has to do 4 kings. So Duck's gonna attempt low end berg skip here, which we saw him do earlier. Which bypasses having to get the key on the bridge and all that. It's getting a bit meme cheer though.
Opting not to cast Hidden Body. Okay, there we go. Oh, Ayame is taking safer here. I can go this. Oh,
Oh no.
it's really unfortunate.
Yeah. He's really awesome Alibaba tier, Nito's right here. It's really unfortunate.
Well, Duck kills Capra with one shot from Dark Bead and quits out as soon as Capra hits the ground and gets the key. Or the boss arena updates to stable ground. That way he just immediately pops out outside of the arena.
Yeah, when you quit out just as victory achieved pops up, the game still registers. Boss arena is unstable ground, so even though the boss is dead, you'll still spawn outside the arena, which is a nice little time save. So yeah, there is actually an out of bounds you can do here to skip the fog gate for gaping, but it's not viable RTA really. It's slower, I'm pretty sure.
So here we're going to see Ayame do a different version of the seal skip than what Duck did because he doesn't have fall control here. So he's just going to edge himself off the ledge here to get the vacuum slope to drop down to the next lower ledge.
He quit out too late. It's unfortunate.
So now all that Duck has left now is to offer his souls here that he's doing and go fight Gwen.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that with the setup that Duck's got, Gwyn's actually going to be a one shot without his R. But he might not go for it though. Yeah, no, he's going to go for no Artisar, which is fine. Yeah, Frank is he indeed, Kamul? it's the home stretch here for Duck. I said GG to Duck.
Yep. Well done, Duck.
And he even casted Hidden Body just for us. What a man.
Truly a legend.
Yeah. 125, 57. Very nice.
One second. Unfortunately, one of Ali's beads might have missed from the four kings here. Poke a second king.
Oh no, it didn't work. That's unfortunate. I thought he died for a second, but he's got quite a bit of health. Is he gonna go for force quit maybe?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he is. Nice. An insane invalid run now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is actually beautiful. I gotta give props to Ayame for that one.
Yep. A true showman.
Ayame is attempting to do force quit Mario right now. That's true, Regal.
Yeah, please submit this to the force quit.
Oh, it worked.
Oh,
Let's go.
nice.
Let's go.
Yeah. Insane showmanship from Ayame.
GG to Ayame. That is a new any percent force quit PB for him. A sub 90. Let's go. An insane
Let's
milestone.
go.
An insane milestone to hit. Let's go.
Truly.
Yeah, I hope so too, Mario, honestly.
Yeah, good job to both runners. That was very, very good show from both of you.
Yeah, GG to both runners.
Don't forget to stick around later. We have more lovely races coming up.
Alright, hey guys.
Hi.
So how you guys feeling after that race?
I'm feeling bad.
God,
But that's
that
okay.
was a mess.
Congrats, Doug.
Yeah, thanks. I was waiting for you to like hit done like at the end. Like especially when I well, apparently you had some fun with the same segment, the Tomb Nito segment. I don't know what exactly went
Yeah, I
on, but
died twice to Nito and 3 times
oh,
to the meme rolls.
oh nice. Or the opposite.
I
Uh,
I didn't know you could be far away from Nito. You could be locked on to Nito, like be close enough to be locked on, but far enough
not
to
hit
not
it.
hit him. And I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's the first
Oh,
time that
well.
happened, and it happened twice. It happened both times.
Oh
So
no.
so first I got like 4 screams, and
Nice.
I
I
was
had
shooting.
yeah.
I wasn't looking at his health, and I was shooting soul spears, right?
Oh,
And then
and
I
you just
went
weren't
like,
hitting.
okay, he's close. I'm gonna kill the skeletons, and he should die in 1 dark beat. And I went against him, casted dark beat, and noticed that he was full health because the spears hadn't hit.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, that was a bummer.
No, so like I just didn't I did a jump wrong or something. I didn't plunge and then I just died to fall damage. Like I just got an instant death to falling in Tomb, which was nice. That was new. I failed boxes right at the start, so this was a
Oh,
gift.
you did? Yeah, that's why I
I
kept
got the
going.
worst
I told you that
I got
if
the
if
worst
you got
fail
both
as well.
boxes, I was going to forfeit.
I had the worst fail where you fall out of bounds, and so you just have to dark sign. There's like nothing else you could do. Well, you could fall off, but that'd be even slower.
Oh yikes!
Died to ONS, died to Manus. Everyone got the Artoria skip or Township skip, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty based, honestly.
Yeah. There was then there was the Nito meme, but there were a few memes, but there were bits of the run that were okay. That were going according to plan at least. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Gwendolyn memes. I got 2 cycle Gwendolyn.
Oh, I got to
Yeah.
finish a force quid run.
See,
Yeah,
I feel
saw
I feel the
YouTube.
need to ask, Ayame, are you going to submit this insane force quit run to the leaderboards?
I might. I was actually I wasn't recording, so I don't know if I will be able to without like I could download the whole like go full meme and download the whole VOD of the race and upload that. I don't know if that would be if that would get approved.
I think it's
That would
like stuck on, yeah.
that
Well,
would be. I just wanted to like finish the game and be kind of funny. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it because like I don't run force quit. I don't know how to force quit. I know how to force quit, but I wasn't expecting to actually get the force quit on the second try.
in either case, GG to both of you, and congrats on the win, Duck. So
Oh,
you will,
thanks.
in the third round, you'll be going up against the winner of either me or Newbie, depending on who wins that race. So how are you?
Okay.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the potential matchup?
Eh, we'll see. Anything can happen, I guess. Like, I
Yeah,
just have to be a
we
bit better
certainly,
than this.
we
Yeah.
certainly will. But yeah, we will be having another race shortly. It's going to be Ike versus Red, so you do not want to miss that. They're both
Yep.
very good
Yeah.
runners.
It should
Yep.
be really good.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna be commentating that actually, so looking forward to that.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say, Sappy?
GG to both runners. That's a really good, entertaining race.
Thank you.